Okay guys, to start our next ornament is from Yarnspirations, and it's using Lily Sugar and Cream or whatever cotton you want. You can use acrylic if you like. This is called the Reindeer Ornament. It does call for a 3.5 millimeter hook. I do not generally use hooks smaller than a 4. So I'm going to make mine a tad bit bigger. I'm going to use a 4.5. Use whatever you like. It's not essentially going to ruin your ornament if you use a size bigger on this project. You will also need a set of safety eyes if you do have them. If not, you can make eyes just using your yarn, or there are several different ways to make eyes, so just choose whichever you want to do there. Use whatever colors you want, but you'll need 3. And I'm going to be a little creative with mine, of course. This is going to be for the head and the ears. This will be the nose, and I'm actually going to make him Christmas antlers. So I have my little skein here, or my little ball of different shades of Christmas colors. So I'm just going out of the box with that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the head. And whatever color you choose to use for the head, you want to start with that one, with that particular color. So what we're going to do with your main color is you're going to put that on your hook now, and you want to start off with a chain 2, and you will also need stuffing, of course. That's a given. Okay, so you want to chain 2, and what you're going to do is work 6 single crochet right here into that first chain that you made. So 1, and cotton's a little funny to get started, so 2, 3, and my cats are always up here on my table, so they leave me hair everywhere. 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to join to the first stitch. Make sure you pull that tail also. Close up your hole, and that's round 1. Round 2, you'll chain up 1, and what you want to do for round 2 is you're going to do 2 single crochet in each stitch around. So if you've already got 6 single crochet, you're going to be doubling in this. You want to double your stitch count to make sure that you have 12 for this round. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And as you know, if you've watched my tutorials for a while, I like to give off little hints every now and then as I'm going through and doing instruction. But when you're working, making these types of projects, you definitely want to make sure, and while I'm talking, I'm unraveling a little bit here, but you want to make definite sure, especially with the cotton, that as you go along and work your stitches, especially when you're working in the rounds like this, that you always make sure not to really get your stitches, I'm not saying to be super tight, but you want to make sure that your stitches, that you do have a little tighter tension than normal, because otherwise the stuffing will tend to come out. Okay, so now you want to join into that first stitch, so you should have 12. Now rounds 3 and 4, you're going to do the same procedure. You want to chain 1 and single crochet in each single crochet around. So again, this is where my other hint comes into play, and I've mentioned this before. So if you have 12 stitches and you need to do 2 rows exactly the same, so if you don't want to use a stitch marker, then simple multiplication. You got 12 stitches. You want to do 2 rows the same, so you do 12 times 2, that gives you 24. So instead of using a stitch marker, just simply single crochet 24 straight in a row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so that was rows 3 and 4. Okay, so that's what you should have at this point. So for row 5, we're going to chain up 1, and you want to do 2 single crochet right into that first stitch, and then 1 into the next, and you'll repeat that around. So that's going to give you 18 stitches. So 2 in the next, 1 in the next. Basic increasing through here. You've got to make sure you understand how increasing works and decreasing. Makes it a lot simpler. So just 2 in one and then 1 in the next, and that's all you're doing for this round. Okay, let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and then you'll end with 1 in the last stitch. Alright, so now join up. So row 6, all you're going to do is single crochet around. So you should have 18 stitches for this round. And right now you'll see that this is just simply starting at the nose area. This is not the nose, because the nose itself will be red on my end, but this is just the long snout, I guess you can call it. So single crochet those 8 stitches. Or those 18, I think I said 8. I think I just caught on to that. Alright. We teachers sometimes have so many numbers in our heads from these patterns, sometimes we don't know what we're saying. Okay, so now, round 7, you want to chain up 1, and you're going to do 2 single crochet right into that first stitch. And then you want to do a single crochet in the next. Okay, 2 in the next. No, that's, sorry guys, back that up. I didn't see that second row. So start over with that row, chain 1, and put 2 stitches right into that first one. And then you're going to single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So 2 single crochet in a row. Okay, so you've got 2 in the first stitch, and then 1 single, and then another single. Okay, so then your next stitch will be your increase, so put 2 in there, and then single in the next, single in the next, and then repeat. So you'll do your increase, and then 2 singles in a row. And this is going to give you a total of 24 stitches for this round. We are still growing. You have to grow it up before you decrease it down. And yeah, I've got a little knot there, but I think I can work right over that. Okay. So then 2, and then you should end on a single crochet in the last 2 stitches. Join to the first stitch. You should have a total of 24. Now round 8 says to work it same as round 6, which is simply a single crochet in each stitch around. So basically you want to have 24. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. Join that. And so far, you have a perfectly shaped nose going on here, or snout, whatever we want to call that. Okay? Then what you want to do for round 9, we will chain up 1 here, and you will do 2 single crochet right into that same stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, and we'll repeat that around. So 2 in the next, and then 3 stitches back to back. And you'll repeat that around, giving you a total of 30 stitches. Okay, so once we have joined up at the end of round 9, we want to do round 10. So chain up 1, work 2 single crochet right into that same stitch, and then you want to single crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 in the next, then 4 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 in the next, and 4 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, then your increase, then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, 4 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, your last increase, and then your last 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Join that row. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you want to get your safety eyes, if that's what you're using. If you're using yarn to design your eyes, you can go ahead and do that as well. So it says to insert the eyes between rows 9 and 10. Okay, those are the rows that we just completed. So making sure that your seam here is, you want to make sure that the seam is going down the back. Okay, so that's going down the back. So between rows 9 and 10, and if you look at the picture, they're pretty close together and touching. So just, my eyes are a little bit bigger. I didn't have the smaller ones in the brown, so I had to use a step bigger. So I'm just going to put a little space between mine, and I think they'll be just fine. So then you want to snap the eyes on. Okay. And then just magically, he appears to have a cool looking face. Alright, so once you do that, then you want to go to round 11, which round 11 you're just going to single crochet around. Okay, so you will end up having 36 stitches. So just go ahead and single crochet around this row, and we will start doing our decreasing on row 12. Okay, so now we're going to start row 12. So you want to chain up 1, and what we're going to do is single crochet 2 together. So starting in that first stitch, pull up, and in the next stitch, pull up. So it's important you know how to do your decreasing. Alright, so then you want to single crochet into the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you're just going to repeat that. You want to do your decrease over the next 2. And when you do those decrease stitches, make sure you tug that tail once you've done that stitch. You don't want to leave a huge gap right here. And when you do a decrease, just a quick pointer there, make sure you do try to tug that tail a little bit. So now do 4 in a row. And do your decrease in the next 2 stitches. And then you'll just work this all the way around. 4 in a row. And decrease. Four singles. And your decrease. And then 4 in a row again. Okay, last decrease going here. And 4 singles. Okay, so join in the first. So now you're starting to see it take a little bit better shape. And now for round 13, we're going to continue decreasing. So chain up 1 and go right into that same stitch and into the next one for your first decrease. Okay, and then what you want to do is single crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Decrease in the next with the next 2 stitches, and then 3 singles in a row. 1, 2, 3. 3 singles in a row. Oh, we just did that, sorry. Ooh, I got caught in the moment. Let's do a decrease. And now 3 singles in a row. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. And 3 singles in a row. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. 3 singles. 1, 2, 3. And last decrease on this row. And last 3 singles on this row. Alright, so join up to that first stitch. And now you see he's got a bit more shape to him. So now you should be down to 24 stitches. And now for row 14, we are just going to simply single crochet around. So chain up 1, and then you want to single crochet around this entire row. And what that's going to do is just kind of put what I like to look at it as though a little bit of a leveling row, because it'll bring those decreased stitches out. It'll level it out a bit and pull everything close together. So just keep going around, and you should still maintain your 24 stitches. And I enjoy this time of year so much, and I know I say it on every holiday video, but I get so many group requests on doing holiday ornaments, And it takes some time to go through and plan which ones to do and which ones that my fans will enjoy most, and I thought this one was just adorable. Okay, so once I've single crocheted around, I want to join up. And this is what you should have at the end of row 14. Alright, so row 15, we are going to chain up 1 now, and we're going to continue with decreasing. So you want to start off with your single crochet 2 together in your first 2 stitches. So work that decrease, and then single crochet in the next 2. That will be your pattern for this row. And you're going to have 18 stitches total. So single crochet 2 together, then 2 stitches in a row, and then do your decrease, and 2 in a row, decrease, two in a row, decrease, two in a row, then your last decrease, and last 2 singles, and then you want to join to the first stitch. Now you notice that our hole is considerably smaller, so now you just need to grab you a huge wad here of polyfill, and just go ahead and start stuffing that head. And keep in mind, you want a particular shape in that nose, or the what do you call this thing? The snout. So just make sure to stuff enough down there, and then the rest needs to go in the head. Okay, so now that's as far as that I want to go with it at this point. Now we're going to continue around. So row 16 is going to be basically the same. Chain 1 and work a single crochet 2 together right off the bat, and then you're just going to single crochet in the next. So this is going to join us up real good here. So decrease, making sure you pull in that tail because it's important when you start really closing this up, and single in the next stitch, decrease, single in the next, decrease, single in the next, decrease, single in the next, your last decrease, and last single. Okay, so let's go ahead and join that up. Now our hole is very small, so you do need to go ahead and finish stuffing it, whether you want it to have a hard stuff or you want it to be flexible. You know, that's totally up to you. Again, as I've mentioned in all my videos where I'm using polyfill, just don't overstuff, because you want it to resume the shape that it's supposed to have, and sometimes you can overstuff and it doesn't have the shape that it should have. Okay, so I think I need to scooch it down in there a little bit. And just put however much you want in there, because now we're going to be closing this up. So round 17, you want to chain 1, and you're just going to work 6 decreased stitches, okay? So that'll close it up. you'll have 6 stitches remaining. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6 decreases for that row. Okay? So basically now what you can do is you can go ahead and snap that off of there. And what I usually do is I'll thread that through, and I'll get my thread needle and I will just close that up. And I just like to thread in and out of stitches. I find that that's easier to do, providing that one wasn't so tight. Yeah, I don't think I can do it out of this one because I did my stitches too tight. Try it this way. There we go. So I just thread mine in and out of the stitches. And it just closes itself up. And then you'll want to double knot that. And when you're done, just stick your hook all the way through it, and you can lose your yarn just like that. And that is our little head so far. And now we get to make the antlers. So now what you want to do is take whatever yarn you have for your antlers, and mine is Christmas colors. So now what we want to do is chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You want to join to form a ring. Well, this shouldn't be that difficult. Okay. And now, what you want to do for row 1 is you want to chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet in the same stitch as your slip stitch. Okay, so single crochet and single crochet in the remaining stitches. So you will have 8 total. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you'll have 8 single crochet. So rows 2, 3, 4, and 5, actually go ahead and join. So the next rows 2, 3, 4, and 5, you are going to repeat that. So you'll chain up 1, and then you're just going to single crochet around. So you'll have 8 stitches per row. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I will meet you at the end of row 5. Alright, so now round 6, we need to chain up 1, and we are going to do 2 single crochet into that same stitch. So 1 and 2, and then you want to single crochet in the next, and then you'll repeat that around for 12 stitches. So 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, and 1 in the last. So join up into that beginning stitch, and that's row 6. So round 7, you want to chain 1, and you'll single crochet right into the first stitch, and in the next 2 as well. So that gives you 3 single crochet in a row. Now what you want to do is you want to chain 1. You want to skip the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then what you want to do then is single crochet into the last 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just jump right over to that next stitch, and you just want to single crochet in that one and in the last 2. Okay. And then just join as usual. Alright. And now round 8, we'll chain up 1, and you'll single crochet into that same stitch and into the next 2 stitches. Okay, now you will single crochet in the next chain, which is right here where we did our chaining. So just make sure you go right into that chain. So do a single crochet right into that next chain, and then you want to just single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, jump over to the stitches on the row. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And then you'll just join with a slip stitch. Okay, and you will have a total of 7 stitches. Okay, so what we're doing is building up the antlers here. So rounds 9, 10, and 11, you're just going to chain up 1 and single crochet in each stitch around. So that means around here. This is what we're working on. We're not doing this part. So you're just going to have 7 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Then you just want to join. So that's row 9. And do that again for rows 10 and 11. Okay, so now this is what your piece should look like. And for round 12, you want to chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet in the first 2. So 1 and 2, and then you want to single crochet the next 2 together because we're closing this little antler off. So make your decrease there, and then you'll just single crochet in the last 3, and that'll leave you 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and join. And round 13, which is our last one, you want to chain up 1 and just single crochet around 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and our last one, which is 3. It's a little hard to get into, but you can do it. Ugh. It's a little tight. 3. And then I would just join. I'm going to join up from the inside. That'll be a little bit easier. Just like that. Whoops, not the right stitch. Let's go right into the right stitch. just like that. Okay, and now you will fasten this off. Okay, and we can weave that in later. And now what you'll do for your next antler part is you're just going to rejoin your yarn to the first skipped or missed single crochet. Okay, so that means right here in the center where we skipped that one, which is right in here. You want to join that. Okay, and now what you want to do is you're going to do a chain 1 and single crochet right into that same space. Now you want to single crochet into the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now what you want to do is you'll have 1 single crochet remaining. So you just want to do 1 single crochet in the remaining loop of the chain 1. So I'm just going to do a single crochet right there. So that gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Okay, so just single crochet in that last one. And with that stitch here that we did, the beginning one, you want to just join. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You want to have 7 around. And I know this part's a little difficult to understand, but okay. So make sure that when you join. Okay, so now once we have that antler there closed off, we're going to join our yarn back to this unworked section. Now if you remember right here where we did our chain 3, where we jumped across here, and then we started doing our single crochet in the first one, and then we skipped that second chain and then worked in the third chain. Basically there is an unworked chain right here. Alright, so that's where you want to rejoin this yarn. You may not be able to get it directly into the stitch, so if you cannot do that, and I'm just going to go right into that space. If you see that space right here, that's where you should just go, and basically what they want you to do is join it, and you can just either single crochet, you can slip stitch it. I'm just going to slip stitch it, then I'm just going to chain 1, and you will single crochet right into the same space. Or you can just also single crochet right into that. Either way, it will work out the same. It's just a little harder to get all that in there this way. Okay, so now that's what you have. Now there's only 2 rounds to this. So now you're not gonna work into this stitch that already contains a stitch. So you want to go into the next stitch. So you're gonna work. Basically, what you want to do is work 5 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to actually work a 6th one into that last one, and then you're just going to simply join to that first one. So you just want to have a total of 7 single crochet total. Now for the next round, you want to chain up 1, and all you're going to do is single crochet 2 together. So go right into your first stitch here and pull up. Make sure you pull your stitches tight. And then what you want to do is go into your next stitch and pull up and do your first stitch together. And then you will single crochet in the next 3. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then the last 2 stitches you will do a decreased stitch. And I know it's a little tight, but you can do it. Alright, and now what you'll do is just join to that first stitch, and that should draw those up good enough. Finish that off, and you'll pull that through, and just like before, you'll take your yarn needle, I'm not sure where mine is exactly at the moment, and just close that end off with a stitch or 2. Okay, and then you have your antler. So of course you're going to make a duplicate. You want 2 of these, okay? And then you want to stuff them. And if you have just a slight hole here like I do, just take your yarn needle and take your tail here and go right through this next available stitch and just pull that and tighten that into one gentle knot, and you can solve that problem easily. Okay, so stuff that, make your second one, and you'll be good to go. So now what you want to do is make the ears in whichever color you want to make your ears with. I believe I have my tan that I'm going with, which is the same as the head that I'm going to use. So of course you're going to make 2. So the first thing you want to do is chain up 2, and you're going to do 6 single crochet right into the first stitch here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Make sure you pull your tail, and you want to go ahead and join. For your row 2, just chain up 1, and you'll do 2 single crochet in each stitch. So again, you're going to increase. So you started off with 2 or 6 stitches. You want to end up with 12. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And go ahead and join back. And basically that's all there is to make in the ears. So make sure you fasten off, leave a good amount for the seaming thread. So you're just going to make another duplicate for that. Okay, and now for your nose, we are just going to take our red now and make your knot. And these parts are very simple to do. So you want to chain 2 with this color as well. And basically you want to work it the same for rows 1 and 2 as given for the ears. So let's do 6 single crochet right into the same, into that first stitch. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so join. Okay, and now you just want to chain up 1 here, and let's do 2 in each stitch around to give us 12 stitches again. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's join now. And now back to the instructions just for the nose for round 3. We'll chain up 1 here, and you'll just single crochet into each stitch around. So that'll give you still 12 stitches. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Join. Okay, you see it's starting to round, and that's what you want. And you can go ahead and start stuffing it now, and you have 1 more row to go. So you just stuff it lightly. You don't need a whole mess of stuffing, but honestly, the stuffing's not going to stay in there too good. Actually, I need to turn this inside out before I even stuff it. It's probably not even going to stay in there yet, so I'm just going to try to go around this last round. So chain 1, and then you're just going to work 6 decreases around. Okay, so 1, and this is going to close up quickly, so you might want to stuff as you go. So there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, and there's 6. And then you will join to your first one, and it's a little bit of a stretch. Okay, but make sure you have your stuff in there before you do that join, because that join's really going to tighten that. And again, you don't have to stuff it too much. Okay, so again, join it. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to finish it off, pull it through. Okay, and so there you have your nose. So once you get both antlers done, both ears done, we are going to start assembling this. Okay, so the last step to our reindeer ornament is just assembling everything. So you see I've already done one side. You don't have to sit and watch me do the whole entire thing. I've got 1 antler and 1 ear, and pretty much however you choose to space these items out really is personal preference. So I've already got the other antlers started. You line it up to the best of your ability, and as I've repeated before, I am absolutely not the world's best at doing this type of situating. I do the best I can do, but by far it's not usually perfect, but it is what it is. So you just have to get your pieces lined up. And I already have to twist my piece this way. So yeah, you want to make sure that your little antlers, I mean, they can go down, the little part can go down. This part right here, if you'd rather them go down than up, but I had already started going up with the other one, so I need to maintain that. And I think I can just twist that right like that. So you just want to get these into place. And once you have your place, you just want to weave around. Make sure you get enough of the bottom part in with that, because if you don't, it's just going to come loose. You want to make sure to get enough of it, but not too much. You don't want to really go way up in the top. So you're just going to weave it in and out the best that you can do with that, and I'm sure you guys are much better at this part than I am. I do not claim to be the best at assembling these things. I'm much better at crocheting, but hey, we all have to give our best, that's for sure. Okay, so we just have to keep going around and making sure that this is even. And if it's not, you'll just have to redo it, because sometimes these items are very difficult to get even. And a lot of times when I start working on mine, they just seem to get out of place. Then I'll have to kind of backtrack. And then once you get, and you get the general idea, I can go back and fix mine. So what I did next with the ear, and the ear gets folded a little bit. So what I did to make that easier is I folded it ahead of time and just put a stitch or two. I folded it and put the little stitch in the end, and then that way it holds its fold pretty good. And then you're just going to place that right here underneath the antler. And then you will just start going. Come down a little bit. You will just start going in part of the head and then part of the ear. But the ear itself will need to dangle just a little bit. It's not sewn flat to the head, which makes it have a little bit of cuteness, even more so. So, you know, it just kind of dangles there. If you want it more flat, you want it more curved, like I said, you can adjust that to however you want it to be. But placement when it comes to these items are just pretty much all about how you want them to be. So again, you just assemble it like that. And then you take your nose and you're going to do the same thing. So you've got your nose, and it's easier to start where you left off with your hook. So go ahead and pull it through and then place it. And then you can do it either way you want, coming underneath or going on top. Okay, and then you will work that around. You'll want to make sure to keep it centered as you go around. Big old Rudolph. Put him on his head for a second. Think he'll survive all this stitching. And I know I got some of you over there giggling at my stitch work, but I'm telling you, I am super awesome at this stuff. Alright, so we just keep going around with the nose. But hey, if we can't have humor in what we do, what good is it? And then you just want to finish off with a knot. And once you're satisfied with his little nose, then you can kind of lose your thread there. and I will be going back to adjust a little bit of mine before I finish off. Okay, and that is all there is to making the reindeer ornament, other than attaching your hanging thread. And he is good to go, and he is adorable. He no longer looks like a little snake head. He started looking like a little snake head before we assembled him. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and until the next Christmas video, happy hooking! Hey guys, welcome back to another holiday tutorial. We are going to be making this adorable, adorable reindeer ornament. You can find this on yarnspirations.com. We will be using Lily Sugar and Cream yarn. You can use whatever yarn you like, and I hope you join me for this absolutely adorable project. See you soon.